The family photo didn't include me. I stood there in my cream cardigan, watching my daughter-in-law frame the shot on her phone, carefully positioning my son, herself, and my 5-year-old granddaughter under the congratulations banner. "Perfect," Amber chirped, adjusting Zoe's graduation cap one more time. "This is going straight to Instagram." I'd driven 40 minutes that morning with a homemade quilt folded carefully in my trunk. I'd spent 3 months on it, each square hand-stitched with scenes from classic children's books, because Zoe was starting to read, and I wanted her to have something special for her new big girl room. The quilt was still in my car. Amber had met me at the door with that tight smile she reserves for inconveniences. "Linda, hi. Listen, we're doing a specific aesthetic today for the party photos. Everything's coordinated in blush pink and gold. Your outfit is more, traditional. Would you mind maybe helping in the kitchen instead? We could really use someone to plate the cupcakes." My son Ryan appeared behind her, phone in hand. "Hey, Mom. Yeah, Amber worked really hard on the theme. You understand, right?" I understood perfectly. I'd been understanding for 3 years now, ever since I'd loaned them $80,000 for their down payment. The house with the perfect backyard for content creation. The house where I was apparently too unfashionable to appear in photographs. "Of course," I said, and headed for the kitchen. The party was beautiful. I'll give Amber that. She'd set up a balloon arch, a dessert table with geometrically perfect treats, and name cards at each place setting, written in that trendy calligraphy. 15 children from Zoe's kindergarten class ran around the backyard while their parents sipped rosé from mason jars with custom labels, "Zoe's Graduation 2024. I stayed in the kitchen, arranging fruit skewers and refilling ice buckets. Through the window, I watched Amber orchestrate photo after photo. Individual shots of Zoe, family portraits with the 3 of them, group shots with Zoe's little friends. She even called in Amber's mother, who'd arrived late in a tracksuit, for a grandparent moment. "Get one with both grandmas," someone suggested. "Oh, Linda's busy with the food," Amber called back, not even turning around. "She's such a help in the kitchen. I don't know what we'd do without her." The comment drew sympathetic nods from the other mothers, like I was the hired help graciously pitching in. My chest tightened, but I kept my hands busy, kept my smile fixed. Around 3 o'clock, I was washing serving platters when I heard Amber's voice drift through the open kitchen window. She was standing just outside with 2 other mothers, presumably out of earshot from the main party. I know. Ryan keeps saying we should include her more, but honestly, she just doesn't get it. Like, she showed up today in this dowdy cardigan and sensible shoes. This is Zoe's special day, and the photos need to be cohesive. I can't have someone looking like they just walked out of a Sears catalog from 1995. The other women laughed. "Plus," Amber continued, lowering her voice conspiratorially, "between you and me, she's just so old-fashioned about everything. Last week, she suggested we limit Zoe's screen time. Can you imagine? Kids need to be digitally fluent these days. Sometimes I think Linda forgets what century we're in." I set down the platter carefully, my wet hands shaking slightly. Through the window, I could see Amber demonstrating something on her phone to her friends, all 3 of them smiling. I dried my hands, walked to the powder room, and stared at myself in the mirror. 62 years old. Gray hair I'd stopped coloring 2 years ago because it felt more authentic. Laugh lines around my eyes from 30 years of teaching elementary school. A cream cardigan I'd bought because it was soft and comfortable. Old-fashioned, dowdy. From another century. I left quietly 20 minutes later, citing a headache. Zoe ran up to hug me goodbye, and I held her perhaps a moment too long. "Did you bring me a present, Grandma?" "It's in my car, sweetheart. I'll bring it next time. Promise?" "I promise." Ryan walked me out, distracted by his phone. "Thanks for all your help today, Mom. You're the best." He kissed my cheek absently and jogged back inside before I could respond. I drove home in silence. That evening, scrolling through Facebook, I saw the photos. Ryan had posted an album titled, "Our Little Graduate." 23 pictures. Not one included me. The caption read, "So proud of our Zoe. Family celebration with everyone we love. Number proud dad. Number graduation. 2024. Number family first. Everyone we love." I closed the laptop and sat in my quiet house, the house my husband Paul and I had paid off 15 years before he died. The house that was fully mine, the house that was apparently too old-fashioned for modern family photos. The next morning, my phone rang at 8:30. Ryan, calling from his car. "Hey Mom, quick question. Do you have time to talk about something financial?" I took a breath. "Of course." "Okay. So, we have this amazing opportunity. There's a furniture company that wants to partner with Amber for a sponsored post. Like, a really big deal. They'll provide all the furniture for our living room and pay her $5,000 for the content. But we need to buy some accent pieces they don't provide to complete the look. And our credit card got declined yesterday." "Declined?" "Yeah, we're at our limit this month. We had to buy new outfits for yesterday's party, and there was the photographer and the balloon arch rental. It all added up. Anyway, we need about $15,000 to cover the furniture pieces and give us some breathing room until next month. Think you could help us out?" I walked to my desk and pulled out a file folder. Inside were 3 years of bank statements, carefully highlighted. Wire transfers, checks, Venmo payments. "Ryan, do you remember when I loaned you money for your down payment?" There was a pause. "That wasn't a loan, Mom. That was a gift. You said you wanted to help us get started." I said I wanted to help. "I gave you $80,000 with the understanding you'd pay me back within 2 years. That was October 2021. It's now June 2024. Mom, come on. You know how tight things have been. We've been trying to build Amber's brand, and that takes investment. Once she hits 100,000 followers, the sponsorships will really start rolling in. We'll pay you back then. How much do you currently owe on credit cards?" "What? I don't know." "That's not relevant." "How much, Ryan?" He sighed, that exasperated sound he used to make as a teenager when I asked about homework. "Maybe 30,000, but that's normal for people building a business. Amber's Instagram is essentially a business. How many followers does she have now?" 12,000. "But they're growing steadily. Mom, you have to understand the algorithm. And how much do you spend monthly on this business?" "Why are you interrogating me? I just asked for help, like families do. You helped us before, and you thought the Bank of Linda was still open." Silence. "Let me get back to you," I said, and hung up. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time, looking at the numbers. $80,000. 3 years. Not a single payment. And now 15,000 more for furniture to take Instagram photos. I'd taught second grade for 30 years. I'd seen enabling, and I'd seen help. I knew the difference. I'd been doing the former, telling myself it was the latter. At 10 o'clock, I called my financial advisor, Martin, who'd helped me manage my pension and Paul's life insurance. "I need to know my options for recovering a debt from a family member." Martin was quiet for a moment. "How much are we talking about?" $80,000. Loaned 3 years ago. No formal contract, but I have bank statements showing transfers. They were supposed to pay me back in 2 years. Family situations are always tricky. Who's the borrower? My son. Another pause. "Linda, I'm going to be honest with you. Without a formal contract, this could get messy. But you do have options. You could send a demand letter through a lawyer. That sometimes prompts people to take the debt seriously. Or you could consider it a gift and walk away. What do you want to happen?" "I want him to understand that love isn't the same as being an ATM." "Then let's start with a demand letter." The letter arrived at Ryan and Amber's house 3 days later, sent via certified mail. It outlined the loan, date, amount, original repayment terms. It requested a payment plan of $2,000 per month for 40 months, or full repayment within 90 days. Ryan called that evening, furious. "What the hell, Mom? A lawyer's letter? Are you serious right now?" "Completely serious. You're treating us like criminals. Over money you gave us as a gift. I gave you a loan. There's a difference. And I'd like to be repaid. We don't have $2,000 a month. Do you want us to lose our house? Is that what you want? I want you to prioritize differently. How much did yesterday's party cost?" That was for Zoe. For her special day." "How much?" $3,000. But that's an investment in memories. In Amber's content. You can afford $3,000 for a party but not $2,000 to repay a debt. "You're being unreasonable. You're my mother. Mothers don't sue their children." I haven't sued anyone, Ryan. I sent a letter requesting repayment. If you'd like to discuss a payment plan, I'm open to that conversation. If you'd like to continue treating me like an ATM, we have nothing to discuss. Fine. You know what? Fine. Don't expect to see Zoe anymore. If you're going to be like this, if you're going to treat your own family like some kind of business transaction, then you can sit in your house alone and count your money. He hung up. I sat very still, phone in my hand, heart pounding. The threat hit exactly where he'd intended. Zoe, my granddaughter, the one person in all this I couldn't bear to lose. But I didn't call back. Instead, I opened my computer and drafted an email to the bank where I'd set up a savings account in Zoe's name when she was born. $5,000 added to every birthday and Christmas. It was in my name only, designated for her education. I updated the beneficiary information and increased the monthly automatic deposit to $500. If Ryan wanted to play hardball with access to Zoe, I'd make sure my granddaughter's future was protected regardless. The first month passed in silence. No calls, no texts, no photos of Zoe appeared on Ryan's Facebook. I saw Amber's Instagram posts, though, everyone's profiles being public, pictures of their new furniture, perfectly staged. Pictures of Zoe's first day of summer camp, pictures of family dinners I wasn't part of. Each post felt like a small knife, but I didn't reach out. The second month, Amber's posts became less frequent. When they did appear, they were taken at odd angles, trying to hide something in the background. In one photo, I could see stacks of boxes. In another, their car was missing from the driveway. Month 3, Ryan's mother-in-law appeared in several photos, babysitting Zoe. I wondered if Amber's mother was picking up the free childcare I used to provide every Tuesday afternoon. Month 4, I saw Amber posting about a new opportunity at a local boutique. A job. She'd gotten an actual job. The post tried to frame it as expanding her brand into retail, but I could read between the lines. Month 5, Ryan's LinkedIn status changed to open to work. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired. Month 6, my phone rang. Ryan. I almost didn't answer. Mom. His voice was different, smaller. Can we talk? In person? Where? Not our house. Maybe coffee? That place you like downtown? We met on a Tuesday afternoon. He looked older somehow, despite only half a year passing. Worn. He had a name tag clipped to his shirt pocket. Ryan, sales associate. He ordered coffee. Black. No expensive latte, no pastry. We sat outside, neither of us speaking for a long moment. I got a second job, he said finally. Retail, evenings, and weekends. Amber's working mornings at a boutique. Her mom watches Zoe. I nodded. We had to sell the furniture. The stuff from the sponsorship that never happened. Turns out the company wanted someone with a bigger following, and we couldn't make the credit card payments. I see. We're doing financial counseling. Through the bank. They offered it when we refinanced our credit cards. We're learning about budgeting, about living within our means. He laughed bitterly. 38 years old, and I'm learning to budget for the first time. It's never too late to learn. Mom, I'm sorry. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry. For all of it. For taking advantage of you. For letting Amber exclude you from Zoe's party. For the photos. For threatening to keep Zoe from you. For treating you like you owed us something when you'd already given us everything. I watched him carefully. What changed? We couldn't pay for Zoe's summer camp last month. We had to pull her out halfway through. She cried. She kept asking why she couldn't go back with her friends. And I realized I was doing to her exactly what I'd done to you. Taking something good and ruining it because I couldn't get my act together. He wiped his eyes. The counselor asked me to list all the ways we'd been supported over the past 3 years. Write it all down. Financial, emotional, practical. Your name was at the top of every category, and I never even said thank you. No, I agreed. You didn't. I want to pay you back. It'll take time. The counselor helped us make a plan. We can do $1,000 a month starting next month. I know that's half what you asked for, but it's what we can manage while still covering basics. $1,000 a month is acceptable, and I want Zoe to know you. Really know you. Not as the grandmother who shows up for parties and gets cropped out of pictures. I want her to spend time with you, real time. What does Amber think about all this? Ryan looked uncomfortable. Amber wants to apologize to you herself. She's embarrassed. She knows she treated you terribly. Is she here? No. But she wants to meet you. With a therapist. We're doing family counseling, and she thinks it would help if you came to a session, so she can apologize properly, so we can figure out how to rebuild this. I thought about that for a long moment. About Amber's carefully curated Instagram life crashing into reality. About my son working 2 jobs, learning to budget, trying to be better. I'll come to one session. After that, we'll see. Ryan's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you. Thank you, Mom. I'm not doing this for you, Ryan. I'm doing it for Zoe. She deserves a family that functions. She deserves to grow up watching people treat each other with respect. I know. I'll make sure she sees that. The therapy session was 3 weeks later. Amber sat across from me in the counselor's office, her hands twisted in her lap. Without the Instagram filter, she looked younger. Scared. Mrs. Hayes, Linda, I'm sorry. She spoke to her hands. I'm sorry for excluding you. For making you feel invisible. For saying those things at the party. I heard what you said that day. Through the kitchen window. Her face flushed red. I know. Ryan told me. I was awful. I was so focused on making everything look perfect online that I forgot about real people, real relationships. She finally looked up at me. I've deleted my Instagram. Not paused it. Deleted it. Because I need to figure out who I am when I'm not performing. That must have been difficult. It was terrifying. My whole identity was wrapped up in that account. In the likes and comments. But our marriage counselor helped me see that I was choosing fake validation over real connection. With Ryan, with Zoe, with you. She took a breath. I'd like to start over, if you'll let me. I know I don't deserve it, but I'd like to try. The counselor, a calm woman in her 50s, leaned forward. Linda, what would you need to feel comfortable rebuilding a relationship with Ryan and Amber? I considered this carefully. Honesty, consistency. I need to see that the changes are real and lasting, not just a performance to get back in my good graces. I need to be included in Zoe's life as her grandmother, not as a babysitter or emergency contact. And I need the loan repayment to happen as agreed. Not because I need the money, but because following through on commitments matters. Those are reasonable boundaries, the counselor said. Ryan, Amber, can you meet these expectations? They both nodded. Then let's talk about what rebuilding looks like. We agreed to Sunday dinners, twice a month, at my house. Simple meals, no phones, no cameras, just family time. Zoe would spend one afternoon a week with me, her choice of activity. Ryan and Amber would make their loan payment by the 5th of every month. We'd check in with the counselor monthly for the first 6 months. The first Sunday dinner. Zoe burst through my door like sunshine, thrilled to finally see the quilt I'd made her. Grandma, you have Madeline, and corduroy, and there's Ramona. I spread the quilt on my living room floor, and she traced each square with her finger, asking about every character. Amber watched from the couch, genuinely smiling for the first time in my presence. This is beautiful work, she said softly. She'll treasure it. It's just sewing, I said. No, it's love. I can see that now. Over dinner, simple spaghetti and salad, Zoe chattered about her new school year starting soon. Ryan talked about a promotion opportunity at his retail job. Amber mentioned she was taking a bookkeeping class at the community college. It wasn't perfect. There were awkward silences, moments of tension, but it was real. After they left, I found a card on my counter. Amber's handwriting. Thank you for giving us another chance. I'm learning that being enough doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. Working on being more present. Amber. I set the card on my windowsill, next to a photo of Zoe. 6 months later, Ryan made his 7th payment on time. We'd settled into our Sunday routine. Zoe had started calling Wednesday afternoons grandma days, when we'd bake cookies or work on art projects or read chapter books together. Amber had gotten promoted at the boutique and was managing inventory. She'd asked me to teach her to sew. Not for Instagram, she'd clarified quickly. Just because I want to make Zoe something special for her birthday. Ryan had gotten the promotion. They'd refinanced their house to a more manageable payment. They were making it work. One Sunday, Amber brought her mother to dinner. The woman who'd gotten the grandparent photo at graduation. She was friendly enough, but kept checking her phone until Amber gently reminded her about our no phones rule. Sorry, her mother said. My boyfriend's texting about dinner plans. It can wait, Mom. We're having family time. Her mother looked genuinely puzzled by the concept, but put her phone away. Later, while the kids were doing dishes, she pulled me aside. Amber told me what happened, how she treated you. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even notice at the time. I was so focused on my own stuff. She glanced toward the kitchen where Amber was laughing at something Ryan said. She seems different now. Calmer, less anxious all the time. She's not performing anymore, I said. She's just being. That legal letter you sent really shook them up. Good. They needed shaking. She smiled slightly. Amber said, you're the toughest person she knows. She meant it as a compliment. I'm not tough. I just know my worth. It took me a while to stand up for it, but once I did, I wasn't backing down. That night, after everyone left, I sat with my tea and looked at the new photos on my wall. Real photos, printed and framed. Me and Zoe baking. The whole family at the park. Sunday dinner with everyone laughing at some joke. In every single one, I was included. Present. Visible. My phone chimed. A text from Ryan. Love you, Mom. Thanks for not giving up on us. I typed back. Love you too. Thanks for growing up. Then I added, your father would be proud of the man you're becoming. Because it was true. Paul would have been proud, not of the mistakes, but of the recovery. Not of the easy path, but of the hard work of making things right. And I was proud too. Of Ryan, for facing his failures. Of Amber, for choosing reality over performance. Of Zoe, for being the light that kept us all trying. But mostly, I was proud of myself. For knowing when to give, when to stop, and when to demand better. For understanding that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is say no. For learning that being old-fashioned isn't about cardigans or sensible shoes. It's about timeless values. Respect, accountability, follow through, and there's nothing outdated about that.